Did I water you already? I think I just watered you yesterday. You need more water. Do you need water? Tell me. You look like you need water? I can't tell. I'm pretty sure you need water. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. So it is our first video 2019. Happy New Year to all of you. I'm so excited for this year because I really want to put out a lot more plant videos for you guys. You guys have requested a lot more topics and suggestions and giving me a lot of good ideas and motivation to keep going. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. And for those of you guys who's new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to hit that subscribe button or also follow me on Instagram at CrazyPlantGuy. So in this video, what I want to talk about is watering your plants. And if you sound like that guy earlier who's a little bit confused on when to water your plants or how much water to give your plants, I'm here to help break that down. Watering your plants may sound simple, and it is, especially if you only have 1 or 2 plants. But for someone who's new into houseplants and someone who's just starting to collect a lot more plants, it can get a little tricky because as you guys know, all plants aren't created equal. So different type of plants have different watering schedule as well as different amount of water to give them. So I'm here to break it down and help simplify that for you guys. Hopefully that will help you guys maintain your plants and making sure they are thriving and healthy. Before we get started, let's break down the watering schedule into 3 different categories and as well as the amount of water into 3 different categories. So that way, as I'm talking about the type of plants and the amount of water or the frequency of watering to give them, you guys can follow along. So we'll start with the watering schedule. So there is infrequent, which I would say is anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks apart. There's your regular watering schedule, so that would be your 8 to 12 days apart. And then there's your more frequent watering schedule, which is probably between 5 to 7 days apart. So when it comes to the amount of water you should give your plants, I break them down into about 3 categories: little water, normal water, and a lot of water. And what I mean by little water is I'm gonna use this pothos as an example. So when I'm pouring water, I allow the water to fill up at the top and then drain through once. So that's what I mean with little water. Now, normal water, I would do it twice or 3 times. So pour once, water drain through, pour twice, water drain through, and pour 3 times and water drain through before I put them back. When it comes to watering a lot, obviously it's gonna be more than 3 times, or you can actually even turn your faucet on and give your plant a good shower for a while. But I normally don't water a lot. I'm more in the little or normal watering. Again, it depends on the plant. So that's what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you guys the different type of plants and kind of what their schedule and watering level is like. So we'll start with the group of plants that have infrequent watering schedule as well as require little watering, and these would be your sansevierias or your snake plants, your ZZ plant, your ponytail palm, your cactuses, your succulents, your aloes. And these guys typically do not need to be watered often. Again, I water mine maybe anywhere between 4 to 5 weeks apart, depending on the season. Right now we're in the winter season, so I would say maybe about 5 to 6 weeks apart. And when I do water them, I only give them little watering. So that means I pour water once, allow it to pass through, and then put them back in their decorative pot. This is what makes these plants so easy to care for and so great, especially for a lot of beginners, is they really are low maintenance. And if you're the type of person that tends to forget to water your plants, these would be good for you guys. So the next group of houseplants I want to talk about are those that have a regular watering schedule and a normal watering level. So those would be your monsteras, your pillias, your pothos, your rubber plant here, bird of paradise, your spider plants, your typical tropical houseplants that you have in your home. So again, when it comes to watering these guys, it's anywhere between 8 to 12 days apart. And the reason why I give a range is also because it depends on the size of your pot as well. Obviously, something that's in a 4-inch pot will dry faster than something that's in an 8-inch pot. So be conscious and be aware of that. And so again, when I water these guys, I allow water to pass through 2 to 3 times before putting them in their decorative pot. So the next group of plants we'll cover are those that have a more frequent watering schedule, and those would be your Caltheas, your Marantas, your Tonanthes, Tremontes. And the reason for why I water these guys, every 7 days, 8 days is because they require their soil to be consistently moist and not more on the drier side. So when I do water them though, because they are already moist, I don't give them normal watering, I will just give them little watering. So again, I pour water once, allow it to pass through, and that is it. So these guys can get a little tricky, and if you are looking for more detailed care tips on how to care for your Calatheas, I did do a video of it, so be sure to check that in the description below. So the next group of plants I want to talk about are those that fit in between the infrequent watering schedule and regular watering schedule, and those would be your Hoyas, your Caries, your Carnosas, your string of hearts, some of your succulents, your silver dollar, peperonia parallel. And the reason why I categorize these guys in this group is because they do prefer to be more on the drier side, but not as dry as that of a snake plant or a ZZ plant. But they also don't need to be watered as frequent as that of a Monstera or a Pothos, and definitely not as frequent as a Maranta. When it comes to the watering level, I give these guys normal watering levels. So again, for example, in this 4-inch variegated string of hearts, I allow water to pass through twice before putting this guy back. And again, I do this one every 2 weeks, I would say, while this one would be every 3 weeks. And the reason for it is obviously, you know, smaller pot, larger pot. So this will get drier faster than this guy. That's pretty much it when it comes to the watering schedule of all the different type of plants I have. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful and didn't find it too confusing. But if you're still not sure on when to water your plants or how much water to give them, I would always suggest to follow the rule of thumb, which is 1, research your plant, and that way it gives you an idea on how much water they need and when to water them. 2, follow the rule of thumb when it comes to watering, which is only water your plants when the soil is dry. So that is sticking a finger into the soil to feel if it's wet or dry. If it's dry and the soil isn't sticking to your fingers, then that means it's time to water your plant, and give them normal watering levels. You can also get a moisture meter. You know, there's a few on Amazon that you can get that usually will help tell you when to water your plants. Or you can even take it a step further and create a spreadsheet and mark down all the different plants you own, the size, the schedule of when to water them, and then log the dates of when you do water them and how much water you give them. That will kind of give you a general idea on the pattern. The more experience you get and the more you pay attention to your plants, the more you walk by them and inspect them for pests or clean their leaves, touch them, the more you'll know when they need to be watered and how much water to give them. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. And again, I'm looking forward to 2019. And for those of you guys who's new, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up, follow me on Instagram. Also, if you have any additional requests of content you want to see on this channel, let me know and I'll try and get to them. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.